Hello and welcome. You're with IndiaPostLive.com, India's first live interactive web television. Today is Tuesday and yes, we are back with Tech Tuesday. What are we going to talk about? Well, the Apple. The Apple was first made famous by Newton, and then came Steve Jobs. Apple was an elitist product. Apple was something still is something not everyone can afford. But things seem to be going wrong. The iPhone 6 is bending. In fact, we will show you a tweet later in the program how people have said it's bending like Beckham. The iOS8 software, in fact, has been a failure. Why has Apple stopped the iOS update? Now, these are some of the questions we'll try and get answers to. I'm joined by some tech gurus, tech nerds, tech bloggers, people who know all about technology and people who are going to educate me and hopefully give you also some information about Apple's technology and what seems to be going wrong with it. First, let's take a look at a video where we're actually showing you and how exactly the iPhone 6 is not the big thing it was hyped to be. Take a look. Did you see that? We have a bent out of shape and distorted iPhone 6. Yes, the iPhone 6. Now to tell us more about that, I'm joined online by Dhruv. Dhruv is the editor of Just Another Gaming Site. Dhruv, I'm still in a bit of shock. Hi. I'm still in a bit of shock when I saw the iPhone 6 bending like that. I mean, seriously, if it can bend like that, it can bend in anybody's pocket. If it's, especially, guys keep their phones in trouser pockets, it can bend. I mean, What is wrong? What happened to iPhone 6?
Okay, let's get a few facts out so that people know about this. First of all, this is plain physics, right? It's an aluminum foil.
Yeah.
You apply pressure, it's going to bend. Now, where Apple has gone wrong is not following the philosophies of Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs had once said that he's never going to come up with the phone which will be bigger than the iPhone 4S. And they clearly have done that with 6 and 6 Plus. I understand that it's actually the demand of the public, that they want those big phones, they want to carry around big phones. But clearly, Apple has not done their testing enough, some stress testing to check out what can go wrong. And what's even worse is that they haven't replied. There's no official reply from them, right? They say that, yes, it's bending. And I've seen a lot of videos where, just in the back pocket or in the front pocket of the jeans, right? And it'll slightly bend, which is not very good for a product, which, like you said, not everyone can afford today.
Absolutely.
So Apple needs to respond to this. They need to respond to the customers and
So Dhruv, those people whose phones are bending, see, normally, you're right, of course, it's aluminum, tensile strength, all of that, malleability and all that, the jing bang. But the point is that phones don't normally bend like that. They break, and if they break, then you replace it. Now, what does one do with this phone? Will Apple replace these bent phones? What is the future of these phones now?
See, Android phones basically and the other phones, they don't bend because they're mostly plastic, right? And they'll clearly crack if something goes wrong.
Yeah.
I expect Apple to replace because that's what has been happening with the previous products, even with the MacBook or even with their tablets. If something goes wrong, they just go on to replace the entire product.
Right.
So I'd expect them, but yes, are people now going to try and do it purposely just to get a new phone? That's something that is really possible, because this is a big defect. This is a very big defect, and this is something that's not expected from a company like Apple. It's like Mercedes or BMW going wrong. So I guess we'll have to still wait for an official statement from them.
Yeah.
Everything is.
So
It's just.
you think people have a malified intention? They're just screwing with Apple to just see that, boss, we can do this to your phone now. Give us a new one. Is that what you're saying?
The sad part is I haven't got my hands on an iPhone 6 or 6 Plus to know that.
Otherwise, you would have tried to bend it.
I wouldn't have mind, I would have just put up a YouTube video saying, guys, take this out.
Okay.
But like I have a MacBook and that's also aluminium, right?
Yeah.
But I have done some stress testing with it.
Yeah.
And I haven't really seen, any damage done to it. So it's not
obviously
going to be
something's
their
wrong
intention.
here. Something's wrong with the iPhone 6.
There's something wrong. Yeah, there's something wrong with the production, which they'll have to clearly check it out because they have been not using plastic phones at all except the iPhone 5C. And if they have come up with this, surely they must have thought of something. So my guess is there's something wrong with the production line or some specific batch of their phones that has gone wrong. And
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Apple will get on a fix with it.
Okay, now we just saw the phones bending, but can they break? Well, take a look.
To show you guys that this is the iPhone 6 prototype, I'm going to compare it against my iPhone 5S so you guys know that this is the real prototype. 3, 2, 1. There's a bunch of cracks right here, you can tell right here. Definitely not the same build quality as you get with the real iPhone 6. There's a chip right there and the plastic just completely came off. And it looks like this piece is about to come off. You just peel it. But other than that, not too bad, no cracks on the screen or anything like that. So we're going to do face down on this test. Didn't sound too good, but tell by the back there's really nothing on it. There's just a few dings right here. Check it out, it's not the sapphire glass that you're going to be receiving with the iPhone 6, the real one, but it shattered like nothing. And you can still use it though. LED still works. But the whole screen just completely shattered.
All right, so we saw people making very desperate attempts to damage and destroy the iPhone 6 to with some success. Dhruv, we saw people trying to break it and there was a chipping off. Nothing happened to the back. The front, of course, there were cracks on the screen, but the screen was working. It seemed to work. So it is, the whole point of, when you think of an Apple product, you think that, okay, this is it. This is the product. Nothing can go wrong with it. I have the best in the market. Somehow that seems to be more and more of a myth now and an illusion, which is kind of breaking, isn't it?
See, there's no phone as of now that I know which doesn't break, right? It's not like he threw the phone by accident. He's doing it purposely, and purposely you throw any object, it is going to break, So I'll say that iPhone 6 requires more care, compared to its previous phones. But I mean, this is all being done on purpose. I understand the fact that it's bending. But this is purpose.
So somebody has a grudge against Apple. That's what you're saying. All right, let me bring in Devangsh now. Devangsh is a tech blogger with Gadget Nerd India. Devangsh, hi.
Hi. So we saw that video where the iPhone 6 bended.
Yeah.
And actually, it does bend. It's not a myth. It does bend.
Okay.
So that was by Unbox Therapy, and many people claim that, and even Apple claimed that that is a fake video. So he made another video where he tried to bend it unedited. It was an unedited video and it was bending.
Okay.
And many people report that their iPhone 6 was bending inside their pockets. So definitely this is an issue. Yes, you do require some pressure to bend it. It does require some pressure, but yes, it is bending and it is an issue. So Apple will replace all the as far as I know. Apple is claiming to replace all the iPhones that so they'll replace them.
Other
But yeah,
phones break,
iPhone
this
6
one is bending, but still Apple has been kind enough to replace, is it?
Yeah, iPhone 6 thin sheet of aluminum at the back.
Yeah.
It's it's normal that it bends. It's physics. It's plain physics that it will bend. It just has an aluminum sheet at the
Right.
back. And if you see phones like HTC One M8, they are also made up of aluminum, and they don't bend like iPhone.
All right, and now again, we also saw the video where people are desperately trying to destroy the phone.
Yeah.
I was just discussing with Dhruv, and Dhruv is very convinced that somebody has a grudge against Apple. Otherwise, no one would really want to, deliberately try and do that, throw it from every angle to see what's going wrong. So is that what you think? You think people have this entire thing of, not everyone can buy an Apple product. Really, we'll show you. We'll show you that things can go wrong with an Apple product as well. Do you think that is what is the sentiment now in the social media?
Yeah, actually, Apple products. Yeah. So yes, there's that point, because Apple products are like considered to be as the perfect product. So definitely, all the YouTubers, all the bloggers out there, definitely do some really in-depth testing with those Apple products that they get, and yeah. So that's the point. But again, Apple has replied to this. Apple has replied, and they have said that we have done some testing as well, the stress test, and it does in our testing. And they have also made a video clip inside their labs where they do all the testing.
Okay.
But the thing is, the video clip that they have made, they have put the stress in the mid, and it is still seeing that where the buttons are, where the physical buttons of the volume rocker and the sleep button are. It bends over there. So it does. If you put pressure in the middle of the iPhone, it will not bend so easily.
Okay.
But there's a problem where the buttons are.
Right. It's not right in the center. The bending is not right in the
Yeah.
center. I get your point. Okay. Let me go to Dhruv now. Dhruv, what went wrong with the iOS 8? Why did Apple stop the update of iOS 8?
Okay, so first off, they said that iOS8 would be compatible with 4S, which definitely isn't. I'm already regretting the update.
Okay.
It's made the phone really slow.
Okay.
And the only reason that I still went on for it was because when Yosemite comes out for the macOS, it's going to integrate my phone and my laptop together,
Okay.
which is a feature that, if you have an Apple universe, you would like to go for. iOS 8's upgrade was disappointing. Its focus has been on health. And if you own a 4S especially, it's of no use because, the iWatch will not be
Connectivity
compatible.
issues and battery drains out and all of that. Yeah.
Then there's no barometer in your 4S. You can't basically use a lot of the features that it has to
Right.
offer. The second is that it's had a lot of bugs. They took out patch 1 and patch 2 back to back. And what was going wrong was that calls failures were taking place. Along with that, the Touch ID stopped working for some people. So this is actually not expected from them. It was a bit of a shock for me also that not enough testing has been done before these updates have been rolled out. And I'll say it's a good move that they have pulled out the updates before other people, start getting affected by these. Because it's not easy to roll back an update in an Apple phone. Once you have iOS 8, it's not very easy to go back to iOS 7. So
What is
yeah,
Apple doing now? What will Apple do now?
I think they'll be working on this. They'll come up with the third patch, and I expect them not to have these flaws because, like you said, it's a product that not everyone can afford. It's a status symbol.
It's a status
You
symbol,
don't,
right.
yeah. So you don't want that, you own a BMW and your radio does not work. So you don't want that you have an iPhone 6 Plus and you're trying to show off and your Touch ID is not working.
Ouch.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure Apple is a company big enough to realize these mistakes and get a work on them.
All
and
right.
I think pretty soon we'll see a new update.
Great. All right. Before I take final comments from two of you, and I do have a very pertinent question to ask both Dhruv and Devansh. But before that, let's take a look at some interesting tweets that are doing the rounds as far as the failure of iOS 8 update and also the bending phenomenon of the iPhone 6 is concerned. Take a look coming up on your screens right now. Is Apple too busy reviewing apps for iOS 8? Just past 8 days and yet no review, says Simon Matz. iOS 8 bug erases your iCloud Drive documents from existence. Kayan Anjum Suleiman. Recovering pastor, I would rather have a bent iPhone than a perfectly straight Android. Ouch. Okay, he is someone who's a fan. Okay, here's one way to stop your iPhone 6 bending. It will cost you $2,000. Luxury phone, all right. One will have to really take a look at that video to understand that. We were going to try to make it a flip phone, but changed our minds at the last minute. Okay, one comment on the bending of Apple. There you go. Bend it like Beckham. iPhone 6, bend it like Beckham. A very telling statement on what is happening now. And finally, let me go back to Devangsh. Devangsh, my final question to you. Do you think with the passing of Steve Jobs, do you think, Dhruv also said, and we were just discussing how not everyone can, afford an Apple product, how an Apple product is a status symbol. But do you think somewhere the brand image of Apple has gone down after the passing of Steve Jobs?
Yes, I agree. Yes, they do have used some fans of Apple, and the thing is, they have stopped accepting their mistakes. They've stopped accepting where they have gone wrong.
Right.
First, they showed the iPhone 5 where they showed the thumb thing that okay, our thumb go from here to here, and we'll not make any big phones. And now they have the iPhone 6 and the 6, and they didn't talk about that iPhone 5 thing, the thumb thing basically. So definitely, they don't accept now where they went wrong.
All right. Dhruv, let me pose that question to you.
Yeah, I think Tim Cook has lost what Steve Jobs' visions were. He's gone off track, and the way Steve Jobs slowly came up, with the ideas of carrying 1,000 songs in your pocket. He wanted to create everything perfect, everything
Yes.
which would look elegant. And what they have started to do now is answer to the mass consumers, which something is not what Apple is supposed to do. Apple is slowly becoming like another Android phone in the market.
Right. And in
With
fact,
flaws.
you talked of perfection. It almost seemed as if every time he achieved perfection, there was a certain amount of arrogance. Now only the arrogance remains, the perfection doesn't.
Yes, I totally agree with that. I mean, not commenting on Steve Jobs' attitude, but yeah, he always tried to go for perfection,
Yes,
right? And
yes.
I think even when iPhone 4 came out, it was for its time, it was a perfect phone. But
Now,
they are going off track.
October 17th, I think the iPhone 6 was supposed to, the delivery in India is, do you think that date will get postponed? Do you think Apple will try and rectify that?
Very hard to say. I mean,
Okay.
India has been the dumping ground for Apple. I won't be
Yes.
surprised if they just come up there, because there'll still be so many people to buy that phone, even with the defect.
Yeah.
I think they won't delay it.
You don't think they'll delay it. All right, great. So we all agree that brand Apple, the image of brand Apple has gone down with the passing of Steve Jobs. And we hope they get their act together and it continues to be something that not too many people can afford. All right, thank you so much, Dhruv, and thank you so much, Devangsh, for your expert comments on Apple and iPhone 6 and iOS 8. Thanks so much. And all those of you out there who watched, thank you so much. If you have any of your own inputs and updates to give us, please write into us at India Post Live. Send us your posts, your video comments, your tweets at #IndiaPostLive or @India Post Live. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.